Hello everyone, welcome aboard. So again we have brought you the new session of Daily Current Affairs Capsule, and this session has been brought to you by Himalaya IAS Classes. If you want to join IAS 2021 batch or KAS exam batch in English or Kannada medium, you can visit us at www.himalayaiasclasses.com, or you can reach out to us on this given number. Significance of current affairs for the civil services examination. In the prelims, there are straightforward questions from the current affairs topics. In the mains, direct as well as indirect questions are asked from the current affairs topics. Essay, where you have to write multiple dimensions of any topic, there it is very important for opinion building. Interview, mostly questions in the interview are around the contemporary issues or the current affairs topics. So how we are going to cover this session, we'll tell you which news articles has to be read and which part of the syllabus it belongs to, and what are the exam important facts from the article which can be asked in the exam. So let's get started with the first item, that is about RBI, the Reserve Bank of India, that has announced its monetary policy. It does that every second month. So syllabus wise, it is part of the prelims economics, and in the mains, economics is part of general studies paper 3. So the key policy rates, as we all know, repo rate, reverse repo rate. Please tell me in the comment section what is the repo rate, what is the reverse repo rate. CRR and SLR, they are unchanged, means they have not been changed in the face of rising inflation pressures. Because inflation is rising, that's why they have not been changed, but asserted that propping up economic recovery has assumed primacy. So as of now, to resume the growth in the economy, that's the most primary task of the government as well as the monetary policy regulator, rather than controlling the inflation. Okay, because this is the one of the worst economic crisis in the last 100 years what we are facing because of this lockdown of, due to the COVID-19. Okay, so some key policy decisions as part of this RBI monetary policy is no extension for the loan moratorium beyond August 31. So all of us know that once the lockdown was initiated, then government provided moratorium, means EMIs could be delayed. It's not that you don't have to pay, they would be paid later. Okay, so that has not been extended now. It was provided till August 31st, and that would be it. Banks are allowed to restructure stressed corporate and MSME loans. See, restructuring means we can see that if the person who has taken loan is not able to pay because of this COVID situation, then the interest might be reduced, or the whole principal interest payment can be restructured in that sense. Then relief to individual borrowers at bank's discretion. If banks want, they can give relief to the individual borrowers. Okay, see, this restructuring has been allowed for corporate and MSME. For individual, it is the discretion of the bank whether he would get any benefit or not. Then borrowing limits against gold, that has been relaxed, means you can get more money against the gold, and tenure can be extended up to 2 years for personal loans. Okay, any personal loan, if anybody has, for that tenure can be extended up to 2 years. 10,000 crores support for National Housing Bank and NABARD. Okay, so that money would be again invested in the real estate provided to the people where they'll be buying homes. This is there to boost the real estate sector, and startups have been included in the priority sector lending. So this is also a very important concept. Priority sector lending is nothing but when banks loan out money, a certain percentage of it, it has to go to the priority sector like agriculture, MSME, towards education, and now even startups are included in that. So this ensures that a startup would get easy credit in the market. Next article today talks about the humanitarian crisis in India that has appeared because of this COVID-19 situation. So prelims, this comes under issues related to social and economic development. General studies paper 2, basically this article talks about poverty and hunger, which is specifically part of general studies paper 2. So immense suffering of the poor has been rendered invisible by the collective indifference of the state and the rich and the middle class. See, what this article is trying to say, that the people who have, or the rich class or middle class of India, is completely trying to ignore the extent of the problem which is being faced by the poor people of India. Okay, so there are millions of new entrants into the ranks of hungry. Hungry means they are not having enough access to the food, including laid off employees of small enterprises, eateries, domestic workers, sex workers, workers in the gig economy. See, gig economy is basically the economy which is created by this e-commerce giant. So like if you order something, somebody comes at your doorstep to deliver the food, the goods. So all this is part of the gig economy. And even teachers in the low income private schools and those taking private tuitions, this all has been impacted pretty badly because of lockdown, and these people are being pushed into the situation of poverty as well as hunger. See, first what will happen, they will remove the things which are costly and nutritious from their diet, and when they have even less money, then they will go for cutting the food expenses itself. So this situation is going to cause more poverty and hunger in India. Pre-existing conditions of the fragmented or insufficient social protection system. See, already 90% of Indian labor force, workforce, it is employed in the informal sector and doesn't have any social security. So because of which the condition was already very bad, and that has become worse now because of this. Okay, and lastly, this article talks about the policy measures which the government is taking. That is also has to be relooked or revisited. Okay, so for example, government is trying to provide the loan or more credit access to the MSMEs. The sector is employing most people outside agriculture. Those people don't belong to agriculture, and the finance minister relies mostly on the credit rather than fiscal transfers. So we don't know for sure that whether they are going to take the chance of taking a loan or not, because it has to be paid back, right? So whether they are in such a situation or not, we don't know. Also, it says that excluding workers from the regime of labor rights protection, as it has happened in some states like Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, and Gujarat, that is also like another problem for these people who are being pushed into the crisis. Next article talks about the communalism in India. So again, issues related to social and economic development. Basically, this is how current affairs has been mentioned in your prelims syllabus, and in the mains specifically, communalism is a part of general studies paper 1. So as the Ram temple gets in the way, we must put the past of communal struggle behind. Okay, so see, we already have a British colonial past which has created many problems, including that of communalism. That is up to a large extent also it is a result of the colonial divide and rule policies. Okay, in India's case, many of these communal policies are the outcome of its communal practices are outcome of its unpleasant encounter with the British colonialism. Recent path-breaking studies in genetics have unearthed India's past of being a melting pot of populations and cultures over the millennia. Okay, so we have seen people coming from different places, of different races, of different religions, and coming and residing here. Okay, having following different cultures and still being Indian. So India must put the acrimonious political mobilizations over religious issues behind it and look forward to the modern secular governance. The construction of the temple is a logical result of the Supreme Court judgment. Okay, so it shouldn't be looked as any communal biased event. It should mark the end of an older, bitter phase of India and the beginning of new harmonious phase. See, prelims, there is nothing in this article. Basically, why I included this is so that you can use these lines, as communalism is a direct topic in the mains GS paper 1 questions as well as in the essay type questions. So these are some of the things which you can take a note of. Sorry about this one. Next article talks about the research. Academic research is necessary but not sufficient. Okay, so basically this article talks about the post-academic research. So this belongs to issues related to education in the prelims, and in mains it belongs to general studies paper 2. Okay. So investment in the research can translate into national development only through pursuit of post-academic research. See, basically this article is saying along the funding for research which happens into the colleges and research institutes, which gives them degree as well, that doesn't gives too much of benefit, or that doesn't contributes to our economic growth. Why? Because basically they will just publish a paper. It will not come up come out with the result of something meaningful which can be directly applied to our problems in the society or which can add value to the economy. So rather than that, we should go towards the post-academic research. Okay, why this article is being published now? Because Government of India is in the process of revisiting science and technology and innovation policy. Soon it will come out, and again, it is very important for prelims as well as mains. Whenever it will come. So technology readiness level, that is one criteria which NASA applies. So, okay, if you are doing a research on something, if government wants to fund it, then it wants to see completely what is your readiness level. Readiness level means how directly it can be applied. So there can be readiness level of 1, 2, 3. Okay. Similarly, we should also divide our research funding into academic and post-academic research, so that we can put more money towards this end where the result of the research can be directly applied to our problems and it can contribute to the growth of the economy. India's investment in the research is lower than that of the advanced countries. We all know that it has to be increased, and STI policy should emphasize on the post-academic research to ensure that investment in the research results in economic growth. It's not just publishing a paper, okay, which doesn't gives us anything apart from one more paper. Next article talks about cartographic challenge. Cartography is the science which deals with map making. Okay, and this is about Pakistan publishing a new map. So let us see which places of India they are showing now. We are seeing that a lot of neighboring countries of India now showing Indian parts into their own maps. Nepal, China. So syllabus wise, it's not part of prelim economics. It should be IR, and mains it is part of general studies paper 2. So Pakistan's new map is intended to provoke India and internationalize the border dispute basically. Okay, and what are the areas where they have asserted the claim? It is Jammu and Kashmir, Siachen, Sar Creek. This is a place in Gujarat. Please look at these places into the map. Okay, and lays a new claim to Junagadh. So Junagadh was integrated into India after independence completely by having a plebiscite referendum in the place of Junagadh, and there was no doubt in the past about the Junagadh, but now they are showing this as well. Sar Creek and Siachen is something which is being discussed already. A lot of arrangement are in place for the Sar Creek, and Jammu and Kashmir, you all know that this is a disputed place. One interesting thing to note here is Pakistan hasn't shown Ladakh as a clear-cut region in there. So there might be clear-cut, possibility that this is being done on the behest of China or on the request of China. Now, as far as India is concerned, New Delhi consider its next moves on this provocation. It should be prepared for Pakistan taking all the issues it has raised with its new map to the international stage. So they will try to internationalize it. Pakistan's actions, while on completely bilateral matters, come in conjunction with the map-related issues India faces today on two other fronts, China along LAC as well as Nepal. So we have to be ready that they should not, when they will try to internationalize this map issue, which is already a bilateral issue. Next article talks about the NEP, new education policy. So again, sorry about this. This is issues related to education, and education issues are part of general studies paper 2. So to achieve the goals of NEP, there is a 10-year deadline. We have to achieve it by 2030, and to make all the entering grade 1 school ready, to make all the children entering grade 1 school ready to early childhood care and education. Okay. So some of the points of this new education policy are school structure, which is 10 plus 2 as of now, will become 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. Okay. So here 5 is the preschooling plus early stages of schooling. Then on class 5th, there will be exam. In class 8th, there will be exam. Then finally after 12th, they will move towards the university education. Significance of Anganwadi workers. So they will be the one who will be taking care of this early childhood care and education. So there's a lot of training and a lot of significance which will be of the Anganwadi workers. State governments should allow the local schools to teach in their own language by hiring local teachers. See, for example, in Karnataka, the students or the school which are located at the Maharashtra-Karnataka region, so their mother tongue might be Marathi. So for that, if we hire somebody who just knows proficient Kannada, for example, it might not serve the purpose of training the school kid into their mother tongue. So that's why they should have this discretion of hiring the local teachers, which can teach them, the people, whatever the local language is. Then vocational education is another part of new education policy, where after class 6, the vocational education like coding or something, some skill which can help them in getting a job will be provided. Also, rather than categorizing children as per the caste, this new education policy tries to club all the socio-economic disadvantages group under one section and then provide them opportunities to achieve the learning. Next article today talks about the China's move on Kashmir in the United Nations Security Council. So syllabus-wise part of international relations, and international relation is part of general studies paper 2. So in the last article also we discussed that China tried to say that India's action on 370 Kashmir, removing 370 is illegal, invalid, and they tried to move this resolution into the UNSC as well. Okay, in a closed door meeting, India has formally rejected the Chinese initiative and reiterated Kashmir is a domestic issue. See, purpose of telling these lines is that's what you have to write in the answers, or that's what your attitude should be. That's what India is saying, and this is our attitude too. Okay, when it comes to your interview or prelims or mains, that this is the India's internal matter and nobody can have a claim over such issues. The Chinese move comes on the first anniversary of the abrogation of Article 370, which led to the creation of Union Territories of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh and ended the special status of the region. Okay, so last year also they tried something similar, but every time that's what is our response. Next article talks about environmental impact assessment norms. So this is a direct topic in the mains, part of GS paper 3, not science, but EVS and GS paper 3, sorry about that. So to bring environmental violators under regulatory regime, that is one of the purpose of this changed EIA, environmental impact assessment norms, by imposing a heavy penalty. There some criticism is there which allowed, there is a clause in this new EIA norms that allows illegal projects to be approved post facto. So for example, assume something was rejected earlier, that okay, this is very much against the environment or some forest, that's why this project cannot take place. Now again a violation committee will be formed which can take a look at the proposal and it might approve it. That's why it is being criticized. Also, some other criticism of this draft EIA notification is draft has reduced the time for public consultations. So the people from the area where the project is being commissioned, there also the people has to be consulted in order to see what impact it will have. Any project can have on the air, land, water, okay, or the forest of that area. Then several categories of the project are exempted from the environmental impact assessment. So that is another drawback or loophole in this. And the center government, it has overriding powers over the state's freedom to appoint a state level assessment committee. So under EIA earlier norms, state used to appoint the assessment committee which would see a project above a certain threshold categories and tell whether it can be allowed or not. Now central government will appoint a state level assessment committee. So it is like taking power from the states, which is again a problem for this new EIA norms. Okay, so these are some of the loopholes in if it comes for critically analyzing or analyzing the changes in the EIA. Next article again talks about the inflation, which is supposed to stay elevated, RBI. So part of economics is part of GS paper 3. So economy to shrink in financial year 21, we all know that because of COVID-19 impact, says the central bank. As of now, there is no estimate that how much contraction will happen. As of now, RBI is hopeful that inflation easing during the second half of 2021. As of now, the inflation is going up. Okay, a good monsoon, bumper kharif crop could ease the food prices. So basically, as of now, the inflation has increased because of the higher price of food items. And as of now, RBI is not reducing this the rate or the policy rate that has been kept unchanged. Okay, and it might reduce by the second half of this financial year. That's what this is trying to say. Next article today talks about the recast plan for MSMEs or micro, small and medium enterprises, their loan restructuring. So syllabus wise, it is part of economics in the prelims and economics is part of GS paper 3 in the mains. So in the view of continued support to the MSME entities on account of COVID-19, RBI has extended one-time debt restructuring. Restructuring, again, I told you, if they cannot pay it back, the amount of principal as well as interest, it can be changed for MSMEs. Okay, for individuals, this is under the bank discretion. Next article talks about the liquidity that has easy liquidity, which has led to the faster monetary transmission. So syllabus wise, again, part of economics, and economics is part of GS paper 3. Monetary transmissions means if RBI changes the rate, reverse repo rate or repo rate in its policy, how quickly the same effect is being transferred to the people. Okay, so monetary transmission has improved. That's what RBI is saying. Because we know that earlier this is a problem, and RBI has taken various steps to address this issue, that when RBI makes a change to the repo or reverse repo rate, immediately those changes are not being transferred to the end customers like peoples or business, because bank in between, they do it as per their convenience. But because of excess liquidity, means excess money in the system, now this transmission is happening nicely. That's what RBI is trying to say in this article. So that was it for today's session, guys. This is a list of do's and don'ts that you can follow in order to maximize your chances of the selection in the civil services exam. Also, please do not forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel, and to press the bell icon so that you can get notified whenever we upload any new video. So thanks a lot for watching, and please stay tuned for more updates. Thank you.